5 rounds of talks so far in Astana have had little success. Brokered by Russia, Turkey and Iran, the focus of discussions is ending the fighting in Syria and complementing UN-brokered talks in Geneva on the political future of the country.
Astana is exactly the additional tool which help groups to reach some technical agreements, some details on the ground, which basically lay the ground to further negotiations.
A basic framework agreement on establishing so-called de-escalation zones in Syria was signed by Russia, Turkey and Iran in May. There's less fighting in some of the areas, but Syrians who have moved there, expecting them to be safer, say they continue to face airstrikes and heavy gunfire. The opposition says the de-escalation zones initiative gives Syrian government forces an opportunity to make further military gains, and they have refused any suggestion that Russia or Iranian soldiers could be part of any force monitoring the zones. The northern Syrian province of Idlib is potentially included in the plan, but there are opposition groups in Idlib that the international community and the Syrian government say are terrorists and viable targets. As well as the talks here in Kazakhstan, 7 rounds of UN-brokered talks in Geneva have also failed. Not once have opposition groups and Syrian government representatives held face-to-face discussions. The main Syrian opposition insists President Bashar al-Assad has no role in a future transitional government. The UN envoy on Syria says the Syrian government has not budged in its unwillingness to discuss a political transition. The implementation of a plan for so-called de-escalation zones will be at the heart of talks here again. But the complexity of the situation on the ground in Syria and the lack of agreement over which countries could potentially offer troops to monitor these zones shows just how difficult reaching consensus here could be. Stratford, Al Jazeera, Astana.